You're interested in 3D printing, but not where to start, not sure where to start, not even sure what printer you want. So today, join me inside as we try to narrow down and help you out find the best method that fits you to get started in 3D printing. See you inside. Hello and welcome to today's video. As I said in the intro, getting started 3D printing can be a daunting, scary, uncertain task that a lot of people have a lot of questions about. And I float around Facebook and a lot of 3D printing noob groups and different things like that, just trying to be helpful where I can and help out where I can. And I get a lot of questions on the channel here as well of, hey, what printer did you use? I'm thinking about getting started. What printer would you recommend? So that's what today's video is about. Get started 3D printing the way that fits what you want to do. So with that, we're going to talk about resin printing. We're going to talk about filament printing with FDM printers. We're going to talk about the pros and cons of both and what may fit both methods for you. So, just kind of starting out with that, before we really dig into that, please remember, hit that subscribe button. If you like what you're seeing on the channel, enjoy what your channel, hit that subscribe. It really does help us out. Share this with your friends, family, social media. I really appreciate the help on getting this channel to grow. Also, if you have a question, do not hesitate to leave it in a comment down below. I don't mind answering questions. I want to make sure if you want to get into this hobby that you get going without any of the hiccups or problems that I struggled through when I first started doing this. And I've been in this hobby for about 3 years, and there's bumps, there's trials, there's pains in the butt, but you keep moving through. And that's the key to it, is you got to keep going. 3D printing is not you put your machine together, you plug it in, and you're printing. There's certain tasks that you have to do with every machine, resin or SLA or PLA or filament printers. You still got to learn how to level your bed. You got to learn how to use your machine and take care of your machines. You also got to learn about the materials, because there are multiple types of materials. This is a huge hobby when you get into it. But what I'm after with this video is to narrow down, what do you want to do with 3D printing? Do you want to just do miniatures and little things? Do you want to build models like you see behind me? Are you wanting to do stuff for your car? Are you wanting to just do little bitty knickknacks and things like that? So that's where I'm focusing this video. I'm not focusing in on the machines or the hardware. I'm focusing on, if you want to do A, then you should go this part of the tree. If you want to do B, you should go to this part of the tree. If you want to do C, maybe you need both to accomplish the goals that you want to achieve. I'll be honest with you, I started out with an FDM printer. An Ender 3 is where I started out, and I've been all over the place. I have multiple FDM printers. I have multiple resin printers now. I just recently, in the last couple months, started going down the resin route because I got interested in like Warhammer and different things like that. So let's dig into the topics. I'm going to kind of give a pro and con of each type, and then we will dig down further into that decision tree. So stick around. All right, so let's talk about filament printing. So this is where I actually got started. I wasn't overly sure. I knew I wanted to do like models and things like that. So I started off with filament printer. So an Ender 3 is where I started. Usually for beginners, I recommend an Ender 3 or a CR10. I may be adding the Sunlu 8 to my arsenal. I don't know. Keep tuned to the channel, because you may be seeing a live stream of that coming up, because I've got one. I just got to put it together and try it out. So we may see a live stream of me doing that. But I digress. That's sidetracking here. Let's keep moving forward. Filament printing is awesome because you can see the work that I do with filament printing. I've printed Star Destroyer or starships, bigger, not totally small models. Now I tried doing some miniatures and I had a hard time with it, especially with support and just the level of detail. So it didn't really fit for me. Now I've done things where I've made hooks that go in the backseat of my car to hold Walmart bags and different things like that, and I've just kind of used the printer all around. And actually there's some projects coming up to where I've used it to even build my art station. All my pegboard hooks and things like that are all from the 3D printer. It's very versatile. I use this thing, my wife wanted some holders for the kitchen, the spice racks, stuff like that. I just printed it. Paper towel holders. I printed one, it looks like the Eiffel, your paper towels over the Eiffel Tower. You can do all kinds of really cool decorations and different things with filament printing. Now, pros to filament printing, it's kind of one of those things. PLA is where I'm sticking with this one. You don't need a lot of ventilation, you do need climate controlled area, and you need enough space for the printer to move around. Now the CR10s, they're big, they're 2 foot tall, and with the control box probably 3 feet wide total. That you got to have a pretty good bench size space in a climate controlled area for this printer to be useful. So scents, fumes, cons of it. If you're using ABS, definitely have it in a well ventilated area. Again, climate control is paramount to this. You want it in an area where the temperature doesn't vary very often, just to help keep your prints going and not have heat shrink or anything like that in your prints. So it's kind of one of those things, keep that in mind as you're printing. You want to be able to have your prints work well. So filament printing, I do a lot with it. I do most of the stuff, everything on this channel has been filament printing. Resin's just now going to start coming into it onto this channel. But like I said, when I did little miniatures and stuff, it was so terrible with the support and everything, getting it cleaned up, getting my miniature, it was just a total nightmare that I stopped even trying to do miniatures. But I do little Christmas ornaments. Simple small prints come out pretty easy. Big prints, pretty easy. Or break it down into pieces and you can do a lot of the print that you want to do. So with that said, let's hop over to resin printing. Pros, I can get really detailed, really small, really cool miniatures. Whether you're wanting to make something for your Warhammer, D&D, any of those kind of games, you can get really detailed, really good fine prints. Again, climate controlled area is good for this as well. Pros of it are you get the details, climate control, you get really good prints. But you lose a lot of the print area that you lose on the Ender 3 and the CR10. They've got big print areas where the CR10 has a 300 by 300 by 400 print area. The Ender 3 I think is 235 by 235 by 250, so you still get a really big, you can print really big stuff. Resin printers, you have about half of the Ender 3's build plate. It's not a very big build area, but you get extreme detail. Now there are tools out there like Mesh Mixer and stuff like that. You can break models up and print those smaller pieces and put them together. So that's not really a con of it, is the print size, but it is one thing to warn you about. Again, with resin printing, you are working with a liquid, so you've got to actually make a little bit more investment to that printer and your safety needs of, nitrate gloves, eye protection, face protection. You've got to just make sure you're doing that one safely. So let's get to some of the cons of resin printing. You got to have a well ventilated space, especially when you're cleaning it with denatured alcohol or anything like that. There's fumes, and you got to be careful of that you don't want to get yourself sick. So that's something to keep in mind. Two, compared to filament, you're working with a liquid substance, so it gets everywhere, it's gooey, it can be messy pretty easily. Where filament printing, there's nothing liquid about it. You may have spaghetti from a failed print or an extrusion or anything like that, but both print types are actually really kind of cool. Cleaning is one of the things I don't enjoy, but I don't enjoy cleaning on these either, or removing supports and all of that and anything like that. So it's all kind of a trade-off of what you're after. So if you're wanting to do miniatures, resin, different things like that, I recommend the Illigu Mars Pro or the Creality LRD002. Great printers. I have both of them. They work great. I really like how simple the Creality LRD is. It works really well. It was quick, easy to assemble. The Illigu Mars, simple, quick as well. But you got to think about your cleaning, and you got to cure the resin when it's done. Now, I've seen some posts where people say, oh, I just put my resin print in the window and let it cure in the sun. Yeah, you can do that, or you can invest an additional investment in a curing and cleaning station. I use the ones from Anycubic. I have the Mark I version, and it works really well. One is set up for, you've got your container of denatured alcohol, you close it up, you put it on top, it has a magnet that spins it and washes your print, and it's really kind of quick, simple, and easy. And then you close the container of alcohol, set it off to the side, put the plate on, and put your model on the plate and it spins around and it cures it for you. So it is a really good thing. So both of them are an investment. Now filament printing, you probably can get started a bit faster. But again, resin printing, you can get started really quick too. But you got to have that investment of all the safety equipment, different things like that, and just other things that you need to safely print. So that's kind of one of those things. So let's get to the decision tree part of this. If you're liking this content, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. If you got questions of stuff that you feel I've left out or haven't gotten to, leave a comment down below. I will get to you. So, and also share this. Guys, I cannot stress that enough. Share this with your friends and other people that you think might be getting interested in printing. It may help them out, because that's the whole goal of my videos, are to serve you guys. So let's talk about the decision tree. So I want to start 3D printing. First question is, what do I want to make? Am I wanting to make models? Do I want to make miniatures to paint? Do I just want to have one around to be a handy tool? That starts your decision tree. So if you're wanting to go miniatures completely, that's what you want to do, look at that resin tree. Go that tree. Trust me, you will save yourself a lot of time and issues in the long run. If you want to do the miniature, go there and get an FDM printer as a second printer, if that's where you want to go. Now, if you're wanting to do big models like this, where, as you can see, I get good detail, I figured it out over time, you know, go to the FDM side. If you're wanting to do stuff for your cars or tools or household items, go with the FDM printer to start. You will not regret it. So, and like I said, printers that I recommend on the FDM side, Ender 3 is a great beginner printer. If you want that larger print area, go with the CR10, or CR10 V2 is actually my go-to favorite printer right now. I love that big guy. So think of that along the lines, kind of go with that thought process as you're going. And there's nothing saying that you can't have multiple printers. My goodness, I've got 10 of them in the back room just to keep going for this channel and just different things that I print and work on. So, and that's the other thing. You may need more than one printer in the long run. Mine started with my wedding. I was trying to get my wedding stuff going, and one printer just was not fast enough that I made the investment in a second one to get our wedding decorations done. And it's just grown from there. The third printer became the CR10 because I needed the bigger build area. So I could print larger items in a print versus what I could do with the Ender 3. So it's one of those things, take the experience, just kind of take the advice. That's all this video is my experience and giving you advice. I'm not telling you, go get this printer. It's all advice. You take it as you need to. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. This is kind of just a quick run through what you can do, what you should do, and what you should think about when you're either getting into the hobby, or if you're in the hobby and want to expand your skills. This might be a video to help you determine which printer you want to go for. So, I thank you guys. We'll see you in the next video.